You're now listening to Loggers Tech Talks from Swamp Fox Insurance Agency.
Hey, good morning. My name is Tank Bryant, and I'm with Swamp Fox Agency. I'm here with Alex Dwyer from Samsara. Alex, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Tank. Thanks for having me.
All right. You having a good time at the summit so far?
Yeah, the summit's awesome. This is my second year coming in with Swamp Fox. It's nice to learn about the logging industry, see the technology coming out, and there's a lot of great people here.
Okay. Well, this year we're doing a podcast, so welcome to our Summit podcast. Basically, Summit is a loggers technology conference sponsored by Swamp Fox Agency. Swamp Fox specializes in insuring loggers and their fleets throughout the Southeast United States. So, Alex, I'm going to turn it over to you a little bit, man. Just can you tell me a little bit about your background, your current position with Samsara?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am originally out of Atlanta, Georgia. I spent 28 years there. I went to school in Milledgeville at Georgia College. Where out of school, I became a freight broker for a logistics company called Nolan Transportation out of Alpharetta. So for 4 years, I was a freight broker, focusing more on the carrier side. So I was working with truck companies, figuring out where their trucks needed to go and helping them find freight to move them, to keep their operation running. So I really acquired a passion for the industry there. At a certain point, I felt like it was time for me to move on to other ventures where I heard about Samsara. And we're a fleet operation company where we sell ELD compliance, GPS tracking, dash cameras for safety. So I really came to that industry to be able to work with the same sorts of blue-collar logistics folks while also having a knowledge on the day-to-day of their operation.
Okay. Well, that's interesting you say that, man. We'll talk a little bit offline. I as you said, you work for Nolan Transportation. I played football with Kevin Nolan in college. So I know exactly who you're talking about. Yep. Yes, sir. But so Samsara is a leader in camera and GPS technology. How did Samsara start in the telematics industry?
Yeah, so it's a really cool story. Our founder, Sanjit Biswas, was an MIT grad, and he created a company called Meraki, and Meraki was sold to Cisco Systems. They're now Cisco Meraki for over $3 billion.
Okay.
So we have some very techie guys running the show. They decided, with the $3 billion, let's go ahead and turn around and start up Samsara. So together, they began with the fleets, the GPS visibility, the telematics, and we have since grown into safety with our AI dash cameras and a suite of asset trackers for powered and unpowered equipment. It's really allowed us to go from primarily truck focused to where now we service every industry, anybody that has fleets, all the way from HVAC to passenger transit to construction companies. And we're working with some of the, biggest logos in the nation when it comes to fleets.
Okay. Now I was talking to you a little bit last night, and you did mention that you guys are more in the fleet space. Different people consider different number of vehicles, number of units of fleet. I mean, what do you guys, when you say fleet, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so with fleets, we're speaking on anyone from having 11 vehicles or power units all the way up to your big logos like XPO, Dorn Transfer, thousands of vehicles. So we're really able to provide a consolidated solution where one company will have an ELD vendor, somebody else for cameras, somebody else for maintenance or asset tracking. We are a one-stop shop to consolidate all those aspects, but there's no fleet too big for Samsara.
Okay. And so what are the leading features Samsara offer today?
Yeah, so first it would be the telematics. We're giving you real-time GPS into your vehicles as well as historical trip history. We are pulling diagnostics off of the ECM ports of these vehicles to let people know when a fault code comes on. We're helping schedule maintenance so we know when to service the vehicles to keep them healthy, as well as the cameras just for driver protection, training, helping exonerate drivers while protecting the company. And then our asset tracking powered and unpowered equipment. We have dormancy and inventory reports to really see the utilization of your fleet and giving, insight into parts of the operation that maybe one wouldn't be aware of without the technology.
Okay. And how do you guys come up with technology improvements?
Yeah, so it's really great. We connect really closely with our current vendor or partners, our customers, we have a customer feedback loop where in the dashboard they can submit feature requests. So it's a really tight circle of hearing feedback from our customers, implementing that feedback into, updates to the system. It's an incredibly innovative company. Every month we're rolling out new updates. We do not upcharge the customer for that. The idea is the longer that you're a partner with Samsara, the more sophisticated the system's going to get.
Okay. Now, so crash avoidance is critical in fleet safety. I mean, I hear about it all day, all the time. New trucks are just beginning to be manufactured with crash avoidance. Are there any features in today's Samsara products that can assist drivers to avoid crashes?
So the Samsara camera is really built to help train and correct driver behavior that leads to incidents. Okay. So we have our forward-facing dash camera that can alert you if they're driving too quickly or if they're tailgating or just, any harsh behaviors. Now, a lot of people will upgrade to our dual-facing camera that is road and driver-facing, which allows us to detect things like mobile phone usage, if they are distracted or drowsy or just not paying attention. So the cameras are able to proactively alert the driver when they sense this behavior happening that causes incidents. So from a, accident reduction, incident reduce standpoint, we're really correcting the behaviors that would lead to an incident and seeing, accidents and harsh behavior on the road really decrease drastically.
Okay. Yeah. When I'm talking to these guys on the phone, one of the questions I always ask them is, do they use ELDs? Do they have cameras? Do they have GPS in their trucks? What would you say the most important issues our listeners should consider when selecting a combined GPS dash camera system?
Yeah, so I definitely think ease of use is one, and consolidation. With Samsara, we provide a mobile app for both fleet administrators and for drivers. So we really are able to digitize the driver and fleet manager experience all the way from being a dispatcher on vacation, having an incident happen. They can pull up their phone and see the video, see who the driver was, and also send that video to the driver. By the time an officer even arrives on site, God forbid it's an accident. And with the driver's side of it, really making it easy for them to complete paperwork that they would typically be doing in the field, vehicle inspections, pre and post trips, rather than waiting for a piece of paper to get filled out from the driver and come back to the office. We digitize that through the system. So now we can just take a picture, get a signature, scan a QR code, and that will upload directly into the Samsara system, just saving, time spent looking for reports, looking for pieces of paper that didn't come back to the office. So I would say that consolidation and being able to digitize, a lot of these workflows in the field would be a great thing for people to consider.
Okay, and you mentioned the pre and post trip inspections. Now, maintaining log trucks can be a challenge with the amount of off-road usage. Are there any features in today's cameras that give the owners, better control of those pre and post trip inspections?
Yeah, so what we have, and again, these are features that we've rolled out over the last year or so.
Okay.
All the way from driver training to remote driver training. So if we're getting notified for a harsh event, we can actually send that video clip of somebody tailgating to the driver and allow them to follow a quick driver-friendly 5-minute course to address whatever behavior that we're seeing on the road. So we're able to take time off from somebody having to meet with the driver and do training to where now that process is digitized. And then as far as paperwork and vehicle inspections, those inspections are getting uploaded directly to the system whenever they're filled out. So as soon as a driver fills out an inspection, the fleet manager would be able to see that and see if there's an issue. If there is an issue, you can relay that to your mechanic and really stay on top of these things.
Okay. All right. And final question, man. Now, Forestry Insurance Company of the Southeast required combined GPS dash cameras on all of our power units. I guess final question, man. Sell me a Samsara. Why should a logger select Samsara versus someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really comes down to a few things. The first, with the Samsara customer experience, what they're going to get is a direct point of contact, somebody like myself that they can come to for any questions that they have with the system. This is not something where we sign them up, and let them go, figure it out for themselves. So they're going to have a representative that they can call, help with the onboarding, help with any questions that they have. You're also consolidating, all of these other platforms that we spoke about, rather than having to pay for 3 separate vendors and for 3 different topics. You're logging into 3 different systems. Like I said, it's a one-stop shop. It's a single pane of glass to see your vehicles, to see your trailers, to keep up with any paperwork and inspections, and also to, exonerate yourselves in the event that somebody's looking for a payday and hits your driver. So I would say the consolidation and the customer experience.
Okay. All right. Well, look, Alex, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in and doing the podcast with us. Have you spoken at the summit yet?
I spoke last year. I'm due up here in about an hour, so I'm excited to show them a new product that we have. It's like an Apple AirTag equivalent called the Asset Tag. So that's going to really help people, give them a second measure of security to recover an asset, as well as track any, mission, high-value operation critical devices as well.
Okay. Well, I'll be sitting in the audience getting as much education as I can, because like I said, we require it on all of our units. So, I definitely talk about you guys' product a lot, so have a little bit of background on it. So any new information, any new education is always good. So Alex, man, like I said, we appreciate it. We appreciate you doing the podcast. Appreciate you coming up here and giving us this valuable information at the summit, man. And I hope you have enjoy the rest of your time here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, Tank, and looking forward to hopefully coming back next year as well.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to hit that follow button on YouTube for more great content from Swamp Fox Insurance Agency.